We're counting down the 10 fastest jets currently active in 2025, and I guarantee the #1 spot will leave you speechless. These aren't just machines, they're engineering marvels that push the very limits of what's physically possible. If you're ready to discover which jets can literally outrun missiles and why speed isn't always what wins battles, let me know what you think by commenting below. Our countdown begins with a true legend of American aviation, the F-4 Phantom II. This beast can reach Mach 2.23, or about 1,470 miles per hour. Now, that might seem slow compared to what's coming, but remember, this is still nearly twice the speed of sound. The Phantom first flew in 1958, and here's what makes it absolutely remarkable. It's still in service today. Turkey operates 48 of these aircraft, Greece has 17, and Iran maintains 65 F-4s. That's a testament to American engineering that a jet designed over 65 years ago is still considered combat effective in 2025. The secret to the Phantom's speed lies in its massive General Electric J79 engines. These power plants are so robust that Phantom pilots have a saying, "A brick can fly if you stick a big enough engine on it." And looking at the Phantom's angular, ungainly shape, that saying makes perfect sense. What's truly remarkable is that despite being over half a century old, the F-4 Phantom can still hold its own in certain combat scenarios. Its massive payload capacity, up to 18,000 pounds of weapons, combined with its speed, makes it a formidable strike aircraft even today. Here's something most people don't know about the Phantom. It was originally designed without an internal gun, because military planners in the 1960s believed dogfighting was obsolete. They thought missiles would handle everything. Vietnam proved them wrong, and the Phantom had to be retrofitted with external gun pods. The next jet represents a completely different philosophy of air combat. At number 9, we have the most advanced fighter jet ever built, the F-22 Raptor. With a top speed of Mach 2.25, or 1,500 miles per hour, it might seem slower than the Phantom. But don't let that fool you. The Raptor represents a completely different philosophy of air combat. Here's what makes the F-22 absolutely revolutionary. While older jets on our list can barely break the sound barrier at low altitude, the Raptor can fly faster than Mach 1.2 at sea level. Even more impressive, it can maintain supersonic speeds without using afterburners, a capability called supercruise. Only 195 F-22s were ever built, making it one of the most exclusive fighter jets in the world. The United States Air Force is the only operator, and this aircraft has never been exported. The reason? The technology is so advanced that sharing it could compromise American air superiority for decades. The F-22's stealth capabilities are so sophisticated that it can be virtually invisible to radar while traveling at supersonic speeds. Its internal weapons bays ensure that its speed performance remains consistent, whether it's clean or fully armed. Think about that for a moment. Most jets lose significant speed when they're loaded with missiles and bombs hanging off their wings. The Raptor doesn't have that problem. Everything stays tucked inside, maintaining that sleek, radar-evading profile. Here's a mind-blowing fact about the Raptor. It can supercruise at Mach 1.76 without afterburners, which means it can fly faster than the speed of sound for extended periods without guzzling fuel like other jets. That's a game changer in modern air combat. But if you think the Raptor is impressive, the next aircraft proves that sometimes the best innovations come from unexpected places. Coming in at number 8 is a fascinating aircraft that proves innovation can come from unexpected places, the Israeli IAI Kfir. This jet can reach Mach 2.3, or about 1,520 miles per hour, and it has one of the most interesting origin stories in aviation. The Kfir started life as a French Dassault Mirage 5. But when France imposed an arms embargo on Israel in 1967, the Israelis decided to build their own version. Not only did they reverse engineer the Mirage, they improved it dramatically. Israeli engineers replaced the original French engine with an American General Electric J79, the same engine that powers the F-4 Phantom. This single change transformed the aircraft's performance completely. Today, only Columbia operates the Kfir in regular military service, along with some American tactical training companies. The Kfir proves that sometimes the best aircraft aren't the newest ones, but the ones that have been refined and perfected over decades of service. Here's what makes the Kfir story so compelling. When France cut off Israel's access to spare parts and new aircraft, Israel didn't just complain. They took matters into their own hands, reverse engineered an entire fighter jet and made it better than the original. That's the kind of ingenuity that keeps nations safe. The Kfir earned its nickname Lion Cub because it's smaller and more agile than its French parent, but just as deadly. But speaking of deadly and agile, the jet at number 7 takes maneuverability to a whole new level. This Soviet masterpiece was designed to dance in the sky while breaking Mach 2. At number 7, we have the Soviet Union's answer to American 4th-generation fighters, the MiG-29 Fulcrum. With a top speed of Mach 2.3 matching the Kfir at 1,520 miles per hour, this aircraft represents some of the finest engineering to come out of the Soviet aviation industry. The MiG-29 was designed as a lighter, more agile counterpart to the larger Su-27, and as a direct response to the American F-16 Fighting Falcon. The widely spaced engines and advanced aerodynamics give the MiG-29 the ability to perform maneuvers that seem to defy physics. With 788 active examples still in service worldwide as of 2025, the MiG-29 is the 5th most widely used fighter jet in the world. Countries from Poland to India to North Korea operate these aircraft, proving their reliability and effectiveness. Soviet engineers built this aircraft to operate from rough, unprepared airfields. The engine intakes have special doors that close during takeoff and landing, preventing debris from being sucked into the engines. This means the MiG-29 can operate from highways, grass strips, or damaged runways, where Western fighters would be grounded. Here's something that'll blow your mind about the Fulcrum. During the Cold War, when NATO pilots first got their hands on former East German MiG-29s after reunification, they were stunned. The helmet-mounted sight system allowed pilots to lock onto targets just by looking at them. This was technology Western fighters wouldn't have for years. The MiG-29 proved that Soviet engineers weren't just copying Western designs. They were innovating in ways that caught everyone off guard. But if you think the MiG-29 is impressive, the next jet became a Hollywood legend and captured the imagination of aviation enthusiasts worldwide. Number 6 takes us back to American naval aviation with the legendary F-14 Tomcat. Capable of Mach 2.3 or 1,544 miles per hour, this twin-engine beast was the star of the original Top Gun movie, and it captured the imagination of aviation enthusiasts worldwide. The F-14 holds the distinction of being the world's first 4th-generation fighter, introducing variable sweep wing technology to carrier-based operations. Those wings could adjust their angle depending on flight conditions, swept back for high-speed flight, or extended for better low-speed handling during carrier landings. Unlike many other high-speed fighters, the F-14 could achieve its advertised speeds even when fully loaded with weapons and fuel. Former Navy pilots regularly report reaching Mach 2.3 in operational configurations, some suggesting that a clean F-14 could exceed Mach 2.5 if pushed to its limits. Today, Iran is the only country still operating F-14s, with 41 aircraft remaining in service as of 2025. During the Iran-Iraq War, Iranian pilots claimed their Tomcats shot down at least 160 Iraqi aircraft, while losing only 16 F-14s, 7 of those in accidents rather than combat. Here's a story that'll give you chills about the Tomcat. The F-14 was designed to protect carrier battle groups from Soviet bomber attacks. It could track 24 targets simultaneously and engage 6 at once with its Phoenix missiles. Those missiles had a range of over 100 miles. Imagine being an enemy pilot knowing there's a Tomcat out there that can shoot you down before you even know it's there. That's the kind of psychological warfare the F-14 brought to the table. But speaking of psychological warfare, the jet at number 5 takes a different approach. This Soviet interceptor was built for one purpose: get to the target as fast as possible and destroy it. At number 5, we have another Soviet masterpiece, the MiG-23 Flogger. Capable of reaching Mach 2.35 or 1,553 miles per hour, this variable sweep wing fighter was designed in the early 1960s, and it represents the Soviet Union's attempt to create a versatile fighter that could operate from short remote runways. The MiG-23's variable wing sweep serves the same purpose as the F-14's, but with a distinctly Soviet approach. The wings could be positioned for optimal performance whether the aircraft was taking off from a short runway or engaging in high-speed interception missions. As of 2025, 187 MiG-23s remain in service around the world, operated by countries including North Korea, Syria, Kazakhstan, and Libya. That so many remain operational after more than 40 years speaks to the robustness of Soviet engineering. Unlike some fourth-generation jets that prioritize maneuverability, the MiG-23 was built as a pure interceptor. Its mission was simple: get to the target as fast as possible and destroy it. The MiG-23's advanced radar and fire control systems allowed it to engage enemies well beyond visual range. Here's what makes the Flogger so interesting. When it first appeared in the West, NATO analysts were terrified. They thought the Soviets had built a fighter that could outperform anything in the Western arsenal. Turns out, the MiG-23 had significant limitations in dogfighting scenarios. But as a pure interceptor designed to shoot down bombers, it was absolutely lethal. The Soviets built over 5,000 of these aircraft, making it one of the most produced swing-wing fighters in history. But if you think the MiG-23 is impressive, wait until you see the next aircraft family that spawned an entire generation of fighters that still dominate skies around the world. Number 4 brings us to one of the most successful fighter aircraft families ever created, the Sukhoi Su 27 and its variants. With a top speed of Mach 2.35 or 1,600 miles per hour, the Su-27 family includes some of the most capable fighters currently in service. The Su-27 was the Soviet Union's answer to the American F-15 Eagle, and in many ways, it succeeded brilliantly. The basic design has spawned an entire family of aircraft, including the Su-30, Su-34, Su-35, and even Chinese variants like the J-11 and J-16. With 1,284 aircraft in service worldwide as of 2025, the Su-27 family is the second most widely operated fighter type in the world. These aircraft combine high speed with exceptional range and payload capacity. Unlike dedicated interceptors that sacrifice everything for speed, the Su-27 was designed as a multi-role fighter, capable of air-to-air combat, ground attack, and long-range patrol missions. Modern variants like the Su-35 push the envelope even further. These aircraft feature thrust vectoring engines that can literally point in different directions, allowing maneuvers that seem to violate the laws of physics. Here's something that'll blow your mind about the flanker. The Su-27 can perform a maneuver called the Pugachev's Cobra. The pilot pulls the nose up past vertical, essentially using the entire aircraft as an air brake, then drops it back down and continues flying. This maneuver is so extreme that Western fighters can't replicate it without stalling and crashing. The Su-27 proved that Russian engineers weren't just building fast jets. They were building jets that could do things no one thought possible. But speaking of doing the impossible, the jet at number 3 has a combat record that's literally unmatched in aviation history. Taking the bronze medal in our countdown is one of America's greatest aviation achievements, the F-15 Eagle. With a top speed of Mach 2.5 or 1,650 miles per hour, the Eagle has been America's premier air superiority fighter for nearly 50 years. The F-15's development story is fascinating. It was created specifically as a response to the Soviet MiG-25 interceptor, which had shocked Western intelligence with its incredible speed and altitude capabilities. Here's what makes the F-15 absolutely extraordinary. In its entire operational history, the Eagle has never lost an air-to-air engagement. Not once. We're talking about over 100 aerial victories with 0 losses in air-to-air combat. That's not just impressive. It's unprecedented in the history of military aviation. With 919 aircraft in service worldwide as of 2025, the F-15 is the third most widely used fighter jet in the world. The United States Air Force, Israel, Japan, Qatar, South Korea, Saudi Arabia, and Singapore all operate these magnificent aircraft. Despite being more than 50 years old, it's still in production. The latest variant, the F-15EX Eagle II, entered operational service in July 2024 with upgraded avionics. During testing, the F-15EX achieved Mach 2.497. Boeing officials suggest a clean aircraft could theoretically reach Mach 2.9. But if you think the F-15 is impressive, wait until you see what's coming at number 2. This Soviet interceptor was designed for one purpose: catch and destroy anything flying in Soviet airspace, no matter how fast it was going. Taking the silver medal is the Soviet Union's ultimate interceptor, the MiG-31 Foxhound. With a theoretical top speed of Mach 2.83 or 1,900 miles per hour, this aircraft was designed for one purpose: to catch and destroy anything flying in Soviet airspace, no matter how fast it was going. The MiG-31 was developed as a replacement for the legendary MiG-25, and while it shares similar speed capabilities, it's actually a much more sophisticated aircraft. With 128 active examples, serving only with the Russian Air Force as of 2025, the Foxhound represents the pinnacle of Cold War interceptor technology. Unlike its predecessor, which struggled at low altitudes, the MiG-31 can maintain impressive performance across all flight regimes. It can reach Mach 1.25 at sea level, something earlier interceptors simply couldn't do. But here's where the story gets interesting. During parliamentary hearings in 2013, the head of the Russian Aerospace Forces revealed that the MiG-31's maximum speed had been reduced to Mach 1.5 due to a surprising problem. The cockpit glass couldn't handle the higher speeds. As he explained, those 2.83 Mach that this plane produced are limited. It no longer flies at 2.83 Mach. It flies at only 1.5 Mach for one simple reason: the glass can't handle it. Despite this limitation, the MiG-31 can track 10 targets simultaneously and engage 4 at once, making it a formidable opponent. The aircraft has also been modified to carry the Kinjal hypersonic missile, giving it strike capabilities that extend far beyond traditional interception missions. Here's what makes the Foxhound so terrifying. This jet was specifically designed to hunt down the SR-71 Blackbird, the fastest reconnaissance aircraft ever built. The MiG-31 could climb to 67,000 feet and maintain speeds high enough to intercept the Blackbird before it could escape Soviet airspace. That's the kind of capability that kept American pilots awake at night. Before we reveal number 1, there is something important you must know about speed. Now, here's something that might surprise you. Most of the fastest jets were designed during the Cold War. Modern fighters like the F-35 and Su-57 are actually slower than jets built 40 or 50 years ago. This isn't because modern engineers are less capable, it's because air combat priorities have fundamentally changed. Studies show that fighters rarely reach speeds above Mach 1.2 during actual combat. Modern air-to-air missiles can reach speeds of Mach 4 or higher. When your enemy's weapons are that fast, the difference between flying at Mach 2 or Mach 2.5 becomes largely irrelevant. The Cold War was about building the fastest, highest-flying aircraft possible. Modern air combat is about building the smartest, most capable aircraft possible. Stealth, sensors, and situational awareness matter more than raw speed. That's why the F-22 Raptor, despite being slower than jets from the 1970s, is considered the most lethal fighter in the world. It doesn't need to outrun you, it just needs to see you first and shoot you down before you even know it's there. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. The fastest fighter jet currently on the books in 2025 is the legendary MiG-25 Foxbat, capable of reaching Mach 2.83 or an incredible 1,900 miles per hour. But here's the catch that makes this story so fascinating. While the MiG-25 technically holds the title, calling it operational requires significant qualification. According to the 2025 World Air Forces Directory, only 4 MiG-25s remain active worldwide, 2 in Syria and 2 in Libya. It's highly unlikely that any of these 4 aircraft are actually combat ready. The MiG-25 story begins in the late 1960s, when it was designed specifically to counter American high-speed reconnaissance aircraft and bombers. This aircraft was so advanced, so seemingly impossible, that when Western intelligence first observed it, it sparked panic. The capabilities appeared so threatening that the United States accelerated development of the F-15 Eagle specifically to counter this Soviet super-interceptor. This aircraft could reach altitudes of 80,000 feet while traveling at nearly 2,000 miles per hour. At that speed and altitude, it was essentially untouchable. No missile could catch it, no fighter could intercept it, and radar operators could barely track it before it disappeared over the horizon. The MiG-25 was built primarily from stainless steel, because aluminum would have melted from the heat generated at such extreme speeds. The twin Tumansky R-15 engines were essentially modified cruise missile engines, providing the massive thrust needed to reach these incredible velocities. The MiG-25 broke numerous world records and achieved speeds that no other air-breathing jet has matched, except for the SR-71 Blackbird and its derivatives. Even though it's essentially retired, it still holds the official title of fastest fighter jet in the world. If you enjoyed learning about these incredible machines and want to see more content about military aviation, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications.